Okay, let's go ahead and get started. Everybody here for Vice President of Membership Training? All right, excellent. My name is Stephen Shaner, and I am current president of the Cookeville Club. I will be the VP of Ed for next year. I'm a past district governor and a past region advisor, and I've had the wonderful opportunity to lead the Mentor Mondays this year for District 63, and we've had a good time with those presentations as well. So congratulations on being elected as Vice President of Membership for your clubs starting in July. How many of you are doing VP of Membership for the first time? Okay, quite a few of you, great. What I'll do is I'll cover some basic information that all officers need to know, things like the Distinguished Club Program, Club Success Plan, a few other things. Then I'll talk some specific things about the VP of Membership role, and then I'd really like to leave a lot of time for questions because I know everybody's going to have a lot of questions. I'm sure all of you have enough members in your clubs, right? You don't need any more? No. If you're like me, we're always looking for more new members, and we love having new members. So first off, let's talk about this thing called the Distinguished Club Program. I'm going to share my screen, get to the right document. And I don't seem to have that document anymore. Let me find it. All right, here we go. So this is a document that you guys are going to want to download from the Toastmasters International website. And if you just go in and do a search for Distinguished Club Program or a Club Success Plan, you will find this document. And it is called the Distinguished Club Program and Club Success Plan, How to Be a Distinguished Club. Being a distinguished club is all about being a quality club. And to be a quality club, we really need to focus on our members and making sure that their needs are being met. Our founder, Ralph Smedley, once had a great quote that I will share, and he said, "I know of no other organization like Toastmasters that is dedicated to the individual." So keep that in mind as we go through some of this stuff, being dedicated individual. And that means that we are there to help them achieve their goals, meet their needs, and those types of things. So let's talk about what we call the Distinguished Club Program. As you go through this document, we'll get there. Okay, so foundations for the Distinguished Club Program. And this is how it works. There is a qualifying requirement. In order to be a distinguished club, there's 3 levels of distinguished. There's distinguished club, there's a select distinguished club, and a president's distinguished club. And I'll talk a little bit more about those here in a minute. But there are base membership requirements, or there are qualifying requirements where membership is concerned. So you need to have a minimum of 20 members to qualify, or a net gain of 5. So if you start the year with 20, you need to stay 20 or above. If you start the year with 18, you need to get to 20 so that you get that 20 or above. If you start the year with 8, how many do you need to get to? So it's a net gain of 5, so you need to get to 13, okay? So here's a couple of examples. When you look at your Distinguished Club Program on the Toastmasters website, you're going to see a base membership. And that's how many you start with at the beginning of the year. So on July 1st, however many members you have, that's your base membership for the whole year. And you look at this first example, their base membership was 13. So they need to get to 18 to be, meet the membership requirements for a Distinguished Club. And there it says, to date, they only have 9. So they need to gain another 9 members in order to make that 18 that's required. Another example here, the base membership was 20. They started the year with 20. And to date, they have 19. So in this case, they only need to get back to 20, okay, to meet those qualifying requirements. What if a club has 30? What do they need to be at the end of the year? Okay, at least 20. So 20 or more. So if they start with 30, as long as they don't fall below 20, they'll still meet that qualifying requirement. Any questions on that? A lot of people get confused on that one, but just Ideally, get your membership up to 20 above and keep it there. And I know that's hard. It's been a struggle for the last year, but that's the goal. Okay, so let's talk about the goals. If we meet that qualifying requirement, there are 10 possible goals within the Distinguished Club program. So the first 6 are education related. So point number 1, 4 level 1 awards achieved. So 4 people in your club achieve a level 1 award. Okay, it needs to be 4 different people. Okay. Point number 2, 2 level 2 awards achieved. Point number 3, 2 more level 2 awards achieved. Point number 4, 2 level 3 awards achieved. Point 5 is 1 level 4, level 5 or DTM award achieved, and 6 is 1 more level 4, level 5 or DTM achieved. Okay, so those are 6 points all geared towards the education program. So can you see is how if our members are accomplishing these things, we're being dedicated to the individual? Okay, so yes, these are points. They're a way to measure how successful we are as a club. The next 2 points have to do with membership. So we have point 7, you gain 4 new, dual, or reinstated members. And point 8 is 4 more new, dual, or reinstated members. So that's a 8 new members in a year. Why 8? Anybody have any idea? The average 20-member club will lose 7 people in a year. Okay, so that's why we have those 8. We want to, if we're 20 and above, we want to stay 20 above, then we need to be gaining 8 members a year. Now, not all members do, or not all clubs do that. Some do more than that. Why do people leave? Okay, there's lots of reasons people leave. I left a club up north because I moved to Tennessee. I was a member of a club for about 8 months and my job changed and I was no longer able to attend that club. 4 years later, my job changed again and I was able to join that club again. So there's lots of reasons. The biggest reason people leave our clubs is because their needs are not being met. So keep that in mind. It is up to us to make sure that we know what their needs are and that we're meeting those needs. If I were to open this up right now, how many people we have here? We have 19 in here. And if I were to ask all of you why you joined Toastmasters, there would be some similarities, but I promise you I would hear 19 different answers. Okay. And if I asked another question, why do you stay in Toastmasters? I would hear a variety of different answers there too. So if in this small group of 19 people, we have 19 different reasons for joining Toastmasters, what's it like for your club? If you have 20 people in your club, there's probably going to be 20 different answers on why they joined. Do we know what those answers are or why they stay? And we need to know that information and we need to know what their goals are. And we need to help them set goals. So think about that from losing members. We don't want to do that, but make sure we know what their needs are and that we're doing everything we can to help them meet that. All right, under training is our 9th goal, a minimum of 4 club officer roles trained during each of 2 training periods. So we have 2 training periods. Okay, we have the June, July, and August, and then we have November, December, January, and February. And we have to have at least 4 of our officers trained during each of those rounds. How many do we really want trained? All 7. We should be striving to have all 7 of our officers trained. And again, if all of our 7 officers are trained, they know their roles, they know what they're doing, they're working together, we're certainly going to meet the needs of our members, aren't we? And then finally, administration. On-time payment of membership dues accompanied by the names of 8 members, at least 3 of whom must be renewing members in 1 period of on-time submission of club officer list. Okay, and that is right now. We have until June 30th to submit our officer list for next year. So if you haven't done that, get it in. You need to have at least a president, 1 vice president, and a secretary to qualify for that. So at least get those 3 submitted so you get credit for your Distinguished Club program for next year. And then paying your dues, just pay them on time. Just get in the habit of paying them on time every 6 months and just do that. Make that part of your goals every year and just do it. Every 6 months we have too many clubs that are late with their payments. So just make it a habit and get used to that. So those are the 10 points available on the Distinguished Club program. If your club achieves any 5, you are a distinguished club if you meet the qualifying membership requirements. If your club meets any 7 of these 10, you are a select distinguished club if you meet the qualifying membership requirements. And if your club achieves any 9 of these goals, you are a president's distinguished club. And again, if you meet those membership requirements. So these are things that as a club, it's how you can measure how well you're doing. You can measure what your members are up to, but this is how we do it. And you can go onto the TI site and look at your distinguished club program at any time and see exactly how you're doing and where you're at. Now, the rest of this document is all based on the club success plan. And when you download this, you will want to meet as an executive board, the 7 of you, and you're going to want to fill this document out. And I can tell you this, the clubs that have one of these are usually distinguished because this is their plan for becoming a distinguished club. So let me start it. So here it is, the Club 6 plan, team composition. Who are you? Your core values. What core values will you use? Team operating principles. And you don't have to get real detailed on all of these, but you need to come to understanding on how you're going to take a look at things. So potential obstacles. Okay, right now, a big potential obstacle, everybody or most of the clubs are Zoom, but they're starting to go hybrid. And that can be a potential obstacle for the Cookville Club, the place that we had been meeting. They don't have Wi-Fi. Okay, so that's an obstacle for us to go hybrid. We're not going to be able to meet in that building. It was actually a restaurant. So we found a new place. We're going to be meeting in the library. They have a wonderful room for us set up. They've got a PC, a projector, and everything. So it's going to be much easier to go to hybrid when we move to hybrid in August. So what potential obstacles do you have as a club? It's important to know what those obstacles are so that you can address those and move around them. What is your meeting protocol going to be? Team interaction. So you can go through and you can answer these things. You know, how will the club executive committee and supporting members be recognized for their efforts? Okay, your starting point. What is your club membership base? So on July 1st, go in there and look and see what your membership base is. Actually, it'll probably be a little after July 1st before they get that stuff updated. So plan on August 1st before you'll be able to see what your true membership base is. How many members does your club aim to have on June 30th? How much net growth do you have on June 30th? So goals to achieve. What is your goal? How many of the 10 goals claim to achieve? All 10 would be a great goal. Okay, so then we look at your situation analysis. What is the current status of club members in the education program? Okay, how many of your club members have actually started pathways and actually chosen a path and are working in that path? So these are the kinds of things you can do as an executive committee. Just go through these again. You don't have to get real detailed here, but just get some information on these pages so that you have an understanding of where your club is and the things that you're going to do. How are you going to complete that education award? Remember, you had to get like 4 level 1s. Who's going to do that? Who in your club is going to achieve a level 1 the next year? Okay, and what kind of timetable you have for those people? Who are backups in case people move or people leave? So this is a great document to get an idea of what's going on in your club and then plan for how you're going to support the club and what members are going to do things for you. Brian, go ahead with your question. Go ahead and unmute.
Yeah, just a quick addition to that. This will actually help a tremendous amount when you have an area director that comes to visit, because they're going to want to know what your plan is. So for you to be able to just go through and fill this out is just a huge help, not only to your club, but to the area director to be able to understand that you do have a plan in place and that you're moving towards some goals that are set and defined.
Yeah, and that's a great point. And the area director, when he sees what some of your goals are and what maybe some of your potential roadblocks are, they can bring some additional resources in for you to help with those. And I promise you, there will be times where you're going to need some help from the district on certain things that are going on. So you'll go work through your area director and having this plan in place. And this is a living document. It'll change throughout the year. So you'll want to visit it frequently. And for one of the goals, you may say, okay, we had 2 people lined up to do level 2s and now they're not there. How are we going to handle this? And you'll make changes. And this is a living document. But it's a great document. Believe me, I've used this on several occasions. And when you do it, you review it, you modify it as needed, and it really keeps you focused on the things that are important. And that is the member. So please download that and take a look at that.
Mark Oshman, Advanced Chatters. I got out and got thrown back in late. What document are we referring to?
This document is called the Distinguished Club Program and Club Success Plan. You can download this from TI. It's free. if you just go onto the TI website and do a search for Distinguished Club Program or a Club Success Plan, it comes down as a PDF. It is called the Distinguished Club Program and Club Success Plan. And make sure you look for the one that is in English. I made the mistake of downloading the one in Spanish one time, and I was like, okay, this isn't going to work. So, but they have Portuguese and all the different languages. So make sure you find the English one, but it's free, download it, print it out. And as officers, get together, go have lunch, and spend an hour in this document and get some basic stuff on the page. Again, it's a living document. It'll change as you go.
Okay, thank you, Steve.
You betcha. Another great program is Moments of Truth. You can download that program. It is also free. And the Moments of Truth is basically a survey you can send out to your club members. And it'll basically, there's 36 points of the Moments of Truth, and they will rate your club in those 36 different points on whether you're doing well or you're not doing so well. And trust me, as many times I've been a club president, you think you know what's going on in the club, you don't. As many times I've been VP of membership, I thought I knew what was going on in the club, I don't. Because when I received these survey results back, there are some surprises in there. So please don't assume that you know everything that's going on in your club. You really don't. And when you get these survey results back, you can then look and say, okay, here's some areas that we need to improve. And of the 36 points, you may find 15 of those are areas we need to improve. Don't try and do all 15 of them. Pick 2 or 3, focus on those, and then maybe 6 months later, send out the survey again, and then pick 2 or 3 and work on those. So, and Moments of Truth is a program I love because it really is a great way to get feedback from your members and find out what the club's doing. And I've been surprised. Some areas where I thought my clubs was doing well, guess what? 90% of the members came back and said, we really need to improve this. And vice versa. There's places where I thought, man, we really need to improve this, but all the members said, yeah, we're doing great here. So do the Moments of Truth. Is a great program. Go ahead. Question?
I was just wondering, on the Moments of Truth, who normally sends that out? Is that normally the VP membership, or is that a VPE or the president?
It can pretty much be anybody. When I've done it as club president, I have done it as VP membership. So as a group of officers get together and look at the program and decide who wants to present this. And it can be a great tool to do towards one of your path electives, or a high performance leadership project, different things like that. So think about that as well.
Okay, thank you.
You bet. Okay, question for you. Who is responsible for members, getting new members?
Everyone.
Everyone. That's the response I usually get. I tried to find the phone number and the email address for everyone, and I just can't seem to find that anywhere. So I'll ask the question again. Who is responsible for membership? And everyone answer, I am. There you go. Thank you. Who said that? So we are all responsible for membership in our club. It's not just the vice president of membership. So please don't feel like you're the only one that's going out there and looking for new members. No, it's everybody's responsibility. The vice president of membership's responsibility is to organize any membership building programs that you enact within your club and make sure you know what's going on. Now, Toastmasters has 3 formal membership building campaigns that they do every year. There's the Smedley Award, which is August and September. And what it is if your club gains 5 new members during August, September, you get a nice little ribbon for your banner for the Ralph Smedley Award. And then they have Talk Up Toastmasters, which is February and March. And same thing, if your club gains 5 new members in February and March, you get a nice little ribbon for your banner. And then there's Beat the Clock, which is May and June. Okay, and that's where we're beating that July or that June 30th end of year to get our membership there. So in the same way. Now, there's lots of different ways that you can do membership building campaigns. One of the ways that I've done it in the past, I'll make a little spreadsheet and with everybody's name and then the dates of the meetings for those 2 months, whichever 2-month program we're doing. And if a member brings a guest, they get 5 points. If that guest returns to a meeting, that's another 2 points. If the guest joins, that's 5 points. Okay, if someone gives a speech, that's 2 points. If somebody has a role, that's a point. So they're getting points for doing speeches and roles in the meeting too. At the end of that 2 months, whoever has the most points gets a nice gift. And we decide as a membership or as a leadership team, what kind of gift, and there's all kinds of things on the TI website and the TI store that you can give as gifts. But it's a fun way to, get people involved and have a little incentive and have a little competition within the club too. We're just finishing up our beat the clock for Cookville, and I haven't tallied those up yet, but I'll be tallying those up in the next couple of days. Another way we've done it, same type of thing. We use a spreadsheet, but then we divide the members of the club into 2 different teams, and the teams compete against each other for bringing guests and getting those points, each week or every 2 weeks. And then the losing team buys lunch for the winning team, and it's, Subway or something, nothing real expensive, but it's another fun way to gain new members and get guests coming, so get some incentive going. What's the best way to share? What do you think? Doing PR stuff, and it's a little off topic for membership, but what's the best way?
In person.
Word of mouth.
Word of mouth. Right. Okay. So we have all these social media things. We've got the Facebook and the LinkedIn and the others. Do them. Okay. Anything you're doing social media should point to your website. Okay. Your website should be your source of truth, and that should be where, if you're doing something on Facebook, point them to your website. Okay, that's where your source of truth is. When you're meeting, what you're doing, articles, all that stuff. Same way in LinkedIn. If you're doing something in LinkedIn, point them to your website. That's what we do at the corporate level. If you look at any corporation, if they're sending out a Facebook or any of those things, they're getting people to go to their website, and that's what you want to do. Make sure your website is up to date, that people can find you. When I moved up to Superior, Wisconsin, all the clubs I was dealing with was, because I didn't live in my district anymore. I lived outside the district boundaries, but I was involved in that district. So I joined clubs that were in the Duluth, Minnesota area right across the harbor. But there was a club in Superior, Wisconsin, I found out, that was a block from my house at the technical college. So I looked on the TI website, and they said they met on Wednesdays. So one Wednesday evening I was free. So I walked down to visit this Toastmasters club, and I walked into the college. And I went, yeah, where's the Toastmasters meeting? She says, well, they're meeting on Mondays now. So a few weeks later, I had a Monday free, and I walked over and I said, yeah, where's Toastmaster Club? Oh, they're back on Wednesdays. And I tried like 4 or 5 times to connect with this club, but they kept changing their night. And then finally they called me, and they says, we're disbanding this club, and we've got a lectern and a gavel and all this material. Would you like to have it for your club up there in Duluth? I said, sure. And she said, well, our last meeting is next Wednesday. And I said, okay, I live a block away. I'll be there on Wednesday night. So I went over Wednesday night, and they said, no, they had that meeting last night. So I never did meet this club, and I'm thinking, no wonder they disbanded. Nobody could find these people. So make sure your meeting information is up to date on your club website. That is so key in doing that. So there is a form. Let me see if I can find it here, because bear with me just a second. There it is. All right. I'll share my screen again. This is another form that you can download from TI. It is free. It's called the Member Interest Survey. So as I talked about getting to know your members and kind of what their interests are, what their needs are, this is a great form. You can send this out to all your members. Think about their name, club name. Okay, list 2 goals you wish to accomplish this year as a Toastmaster. Okay, if they don't have goals, they're not going to accomplish any goals. They're just going to kind of show up every week, go through the motions, and that's about it. So, and this is a place where you can help them too. Okay, guess what? I completed a level 1 and a level 2 this year. So next year, what are my goals? Well, I'd like to complete a level 3, level 4, maybe even a level 5. And then have them list 2 objectives that they may want to accomplish in the next few months in the support of those goals. So, if their thing is to complete maybe a high performance leadership project, one of the objectives might be, okay, print out that project, come up with, get your team put together and start working on that stuff. What are their interests? Improve critical thinking skills, improve meeting management skills, improve LinkedIn. So find out. So if they're if one of their high interests is to improve meeting management skills, we want to make sure they have an important role every time, don't we? Okay, so we're meeting their needs. We can keep them doing those types of things. Improve listening skills. Well, golly, we want to have them in some kind of evaluation role as much as possible, don't we? So they can practice those listening skills and improve those. Club involvement for the mentor, help increase club membership. If you're a VP of membership and you get 3 or 4 people that come back, they have a high interest in helping increase club membership, you get yourself a committee. Okay, and by all means, get yourself a committee. Okay, they can help you. You can delegate things to them. If you're absent from a meeting, they can do the things that you would normally do in those meetings. And then guess what? Next year, at come election time, you got people that'll fit right into that role as the VP of membership next year. So this is a great little resource outside of the club. What do they want to do? Youth leadership, youth communication, visit other Toastmasters clubs. Do they want to compete in speech contests? Do they want to judge? You know, so there's all kinds of things here you can find out. If they have no interest in being, you know, competing in a contest, you know. And then you can get information. Club quality characteristic, welcoming, friendly, relaxed atmosphere. How are they going? These are a lot of the things that are in the moments of truth too. And then what's their overall experience? What do you like most about the club? What do you like least? What recommendations? Do you think getting this kind of feedback would be valuable to not only you as VP of membership, but also to your club officers as well? Yeah, absolutely. So this is a great little resource that you can download and use to your advantage as well. There was a thought I had and it went bye-bye real quick. Boy, that's the first time that's ever happened. Anyway, moving on. Let's see. Let's go ahead and see if you guys have any questions so far. I see a hand. Alan, go ahead.
First of all, I apologize. When we got kicked out of the breakout room and then back, my camera flipped.
Oh.
And every time I try to do start video, I'm showing you the books that I'm leaning my pad against. But the questions I had, I have been a VPM. It's been a long time ago. Nuts and bolts, is there still like a hard copy application or is it all done online now?
No, I think you can print the applications out and have the people fill them out. But yeah, I think it's pretty much done all online now. Although you could probably mail them in as well. I don't think TI would have a problem with that. But are you just uncomfortable with the technology part of it?
I haven't done it in a long time and I wasn't sure.
Yeah, it's pretty straightforward. There's probably somebody in your club that has done it before, you know, and check with the other officers too. And as a point I want to make is please don't ever feel like you're alone in any position in this organization. Okay, there are people that have done the role you have. There are people that are currently doing the role that you have. I'm going to look at here. Here's a group of great resources right here. So take each other's name and phone number and credit card number and all that stuff and make sure, no, not that one. And get with each other. You can support each other. You can help each other and talk to each other about, hey, this is working for me. This is working for our club and get those ideas and things. And that's true of any level, whether you're a mentor. When I became a region advisor, guess what? There were 13 other region advisors that I got to work with. There were past region advisors I got to work with. So in any role in this organization, please don't ever feel like you're alone. Don't be afraid to reach out for help because there's plenty of people that have done this role before. Even
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, you bet. So yeah, look for some help. You know, you can always go to your area director, you know, and get some help from the district if you need it for that kind of thing. If you're having problems, especially. So.
One of the other things you can do is just upload it to your website.
Yep.
They can extract it off there.
You can. There's a great virtual guest packet. Have you guys seen that? Yeah, which actually has a link, I think, to the application on that too, so they can do it themselves. Mary Ann, go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to say that there is a membership application form that is a fillable PDF. So I don't know if it's anyway. I mean, yeah. So you can print it off, or they can go online and do it. But still, the VPM or some other officer has to add them into Toastmasters website.
Okay. Yeah. Thank
as
you.
a new member.
Let me real quick try something here. I'll go here. I'll open up a new tab, go to Toastmasters, and this is the digital guest packet. And it's just a link. And it allows, if if you've got somebody that's interested in Toastmasters, interested in your club, they can click on any one of these. What is Toastmasters? What can I expect in a meeting? And then down here, I'm ready to join. What now? You can find a club, so link to find a club, membership application. So there's all that stuff here, but it's just a nice little digital, guest packet that is a link that you can send out. What are members saying? How can I start learning now? So that's an option too. I'll put the link for this in the chat.
Now, I'd like to use my own membership. I'd like to use a membership application that I have filled out partially for them, including how much they owe.
Good.
Which will change depending on what month.
Good.
Since we prorate.
Sure.
Because that seems to be a sticking point, and I want the member sign up process to be as smooth as possible. Close the deal, get them in the door.
That's a really, really good idea. Make it as easy for them to join, because if it's a problem for them to join, then they're going to be like, okay, what am I getting myself into? Did I just join the Air Force for 5 years? What's going on? All right, in the chat, there's the link for that digital guest packet. It didn't look like it copied in right. But if you copy that whole thing and put it in your browser, that should pop up. Again, you can go to TI and do a search for digital guest packet, and it'll pop up as well. So, all right, Skip, you got a question?
Yes, going way back, a good bit way back in this session prior to Moments of Truth, you said something that struck me and something that's very concerning to me the last several weeks. And it's very general. I'm a member of 4 clubs and participated in a 5th. And to one degree or another, I've run into this kind of a thing at all of them. And that's just, I guess, overall discouragement. We know that Toastmasters has taken a real beating here lately, starting about 2017 when Pathways first came on, and the conversion to Pathways, and some parts of that weren't the smoothest thing in the world. But about the time we got our feet on the ground with that, then COVID hit and just threw us into absolute turmoil. I commend all of my clubs for doing marvelous jobs of transitioning to virtual meetings. But now we're, and everyone I'm involved in is talking hybrid meetings. But a few people are skeptical or uncomfortable about that. For example, Brentwood Evening, which I'm the outgoing president of, we will have our first hybrid meeting next Tuesday night. And there seems to be a lot of anxiety about it. Is it going to work? And what I tell people is let's don't go into it, well, what if something goes wrong? Let's go into it with the thought that it's something new, something will happen. Like anything new, it's gonna have some some bugs in it. Just like you go to a car dealer and buy a brand new car, the odds are you're gonna have to take it back a couple of times to fix this and fix that. Well, so it's going to be with hybrid meetings. And then in the club it's a club in Atlanta that I just visit and participate in. They've just gotten kind of discouraged. They're not making many speeches. They're having largely table topics clubs, which is better than nothing. And all of that, we've got one member of our Donaldson Early Birds club that's very dedicated member. She's really tremendous asset to the club, but she's making no secret of the fact that she's just sick and tired of technology, of Zoom, and all this, that, and the other. So I guess to try to tie all this into a nutshell, I'm seeing a lot of discouragement, frustration, anxiety about the current situation, most of which we can't help. We can't do anything about COVID and all that. Any thoughts from anybody? I know this is very general, but just any thoughts from anybody regarding any of this?
I will throw in a couple first, and I'll give some other people the opportunity to. First of all, with technology, yeah, you're going to have some challenges. Okay, I have 2 Zoom Master certificates from Toastmasters. I probably do about 12 Zoom meetings a week just for various things. I'm also Zoom Master for my church, and we're doing hybrid there. And trust me, we have challenges, okay, and we're going to. But you know, you deal with each challenge that comes along, and you find a solution for it, and you move on. And you're right, that's the way you got to go into it. Yeah, we're gonna do this. We'll probably have some challenge, but we'll work through those and we'll move on. But this is our future. From the pathway standpoint, same way. You know, pathways is here to stay. Is it perfect? No. Was our old education program perfect? No, it wasn't. And you know, as leaders, we need to stop bad mouthing this pathways. It's our product. This is what we sell. Especially if we're in a club and we got a bunch of new people and we're standing there and we're bad mouthing our product. You know, that's not going to look good. So we need to, yeah, it's not perfect, but guess what? It's better than the old one in a lot of ways. I mean, the old program, the reason they decided to change and they interviewed all these people, they interviewed people that left Toastmasters, current Toastmasters. You know, when you got a product that only 10% of the people in the organization are completing a CC and less than 1% are completing a DPM, would you go to a university with that kind of record or send your kids to a university with that kind of record? You wouldn't. So it needed to change. Now, yes, there's been some challenges along the way, but this is our product and it's not going anywhere. So, you know, change is hard. Change is good. You go first. So that's part of it, is having that positive attitude. And I love what you're saying and what you've been doing and the way you've been turning that around. The people are discouraged with the technology. It's usually because they don't understand it and they struggle with that. So you know, we can help. I had a new member join our club, and I spent about an hour with her, you know, on Zoom, and I had her share her screen, and I talked her through the entire Icebreaker project on Pathways. And then she started, after a while, she started running on her own, and she said, "Okay, I get the feel for this. I see how this is working, and we need to do that now." That might be somebody else's role as an officer, but any of us can do that. Okay? So learn as much as you can about that technology and be there for the people in your club to help them get through their challenges. And the more they use it, the more comfortable they'll get with it. If they use it once every 6 months, they're going to struggle. And as far as the people that have been at Toastmasters for a long time, you know, that they don't want to make this change, encourage them. Hey, you know, you've been here a long time. You have valuable information, and you can help these new people, and we need you to help these new people. You know, so positive encouragement. Anybody else have any thoughts here? I know you guys have some ideas and thoughts too.
Somebody have their hand up.
Alan, you still have your hand up?
Are you saying I still have my hand up?
Yeah, I just.
Okay, that's apparently I am demonstrating Skip's comment about uncomfortable with technology, or at least unskilled.
No problem. Glad I've never done that though.
I guess, does that mean I have to go back to settings and take my hand down?
I think so, yes. Actually go to your reactions and see if there's a.
There we go.
You can go back to reactions and just pull it down, or just click outside of that.
Okay, this is just, well, never mind.
That's all right. I just want to make sure you didn't have another question. So thanks for pointing that out.
There we go.
There it went. There it's gone. All right, good. Anybody else have comments?
Just one thing I'm trying to do. Did I cut somebody off? I'm sorry. Did I just cut somebody off?
Nope, you're good.
Okay. One thing I'm just trying to do, I love the technology. I'm trying to be as positive and upbeat with all of them as I can. We can go back to in-person meetings, and you know, there'll be hybrid meetings, but it'll be the same meetings that we used to have. And most of the clubs are going to be able to go back to that same meeting place, with one exception that in my realm, that's the Parthenon Club. Our former meeting place closed. But anyway, I'm just trying to encourage them and to stress the fact that Zoom and other virtual platforms such as this are wonderful marketing tools for a club. I mean, we've had in our little Donaldson Early Birds club, which is very small, and I would classify almost a struggling club. Two of our very important members are a father and son team. The father is in Van Nuys, California, which is a suburb of Los Angeles. The son is in Bali, Indonesia. And I myself, about every other week, will Zoom with a Toastmasters club in England, Birmingham, England.
Yeah.
It's a wonderful, wonderful marketing tool.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to stress all of that. And most people.
I'm a person that loves change, and I've always loved change. And the reason I love change is because it brings opportunities that you didn't have before. And Zoom has certainly brought those types of opportunities. In Cookville Club, we have 2 members that actually live in Baltimore. And they had visited the Cookville Club in person a few years ago. And when they saw us go on Zoom, they started joining us regularly. Then they joined the club. And they're excited that we're going to be going hybrid in August too, because that means they'll be able to stay. But as a club, you know, we talked about that potential, you know, block and in going hybrid. You have to decide, you know, as a club, what are we going to do moving forward? Are we going to stay virtual? Are we going to just do in person? Are we going to do hybrid? And make that decision and then move in that direction, and don't let anything get in your way. So, all right, we've got about 2-3 minutes left here. Any other thoughts, comments, any questions you have of me?
Okay, I'm not gonna do the hand. I just cut somebody off, I think.
No, go ahead.
I think we've got 13 minutes. Is the agenda has it till 12 and then a break?
Oh, you're right, we do. We do. The break is at 12. So, okay.
As Vice President of Membership, do we need to be aware of or address the partnership with Rotary? Did I say that right?
That's a great question, and we kind of dealt with that in Cookville because the Cookville Rotary Club started up, and we weren't highly involved because Amadi is a member of the Cookville Club, so he was involved with it. Kristen was with it, so it was really the district people were taking that on. But there's a lot of Rotary clubs out there in the state, you know, so you can certainly reach out to those Rotary clubs and see what kind of interest they have. I would say that would be in partnership with your VPPR. You know, you guys can work together on that, or even all 7 of your club officers. That's one of the things you can put in your club success plan. How are we going to deal with Rotary, and who's going to take that on? So the answer is yes, it probably will be you, but you know, check with your club and see how you as a club want to handle that. Does that make sense?
Thank you.
Yep.
Yeah. And my question actually was geared toward one of the things that Skip mentioned was that, you know, the people that are not really having the engagement of doing speeches from their pathways projects, things like that. How would you suggest someone in the BPM role that could help encourage?
Work with your VP of Ed, but you know, when you get the feedback from the club, you know, the best way to learn is to be a teacher, isn't it? You know, so if you've got one of these longtime Toastmasters that's struggling with that conversion, but you get feedback from your club, you know, so we're really struggling with this pathway thing. You know, you can go to one of these members and say, hey, we would like you to do a presentation on how to do this in pathways, or, you know, what's the best way to do this in pathways. And guess what? Then they get to learn it, and then to teach it, they're going to learn even more. So that's one thing. And I have done that, and it has worked well. So that's an option. Any other thoughts? So
I think that we can be an example. So if we're staying engaged and we're staying passionate and we're giving speeches, you know, that's the best way to encourage others, in my opinion.
Yeah, and if they see you completing those levels and moving on and doing those things, yeah, that's a great point. Thank you.
I really think all officers ought to be engaged in doing that kind of thing.
Exactly. Good feedback. Thank you. Anybody else? Go ahead, Marianne.
Marianne, yeah.
You're muted.
Thank you. Before COVID, I was VPM of my club, my home club. And as I recall, Toastmasters International had started on a big push to make sure everyone got enrolled in pathways. That's kind of that disappeared during COVID. But I haven't seen them say anything about getting everybody into pathways again. But have you heard anything? Is that going to be a goal from HQ, from Toastmasters International, that everybody's got to get in pathways? Because I have a fair number of people in my club. I'm going to count, but I think it's 4 or 5 who are not in pathways. Their goal is to come to our meetings and have fellowship. And to be honest with you, if they weren't still working and their work computer didn't have conferencing software on there, they would never participate.
Sure.
Virtually.
Yeah. And the other thing too, with the people that aren't getting involved in pathways, find out why. Just ask them, hey, you're not enrolled in pathways, why not? And depending on that answer, get them the help they need. And it might be, well, I'm just not sure how to start, or it might be, I'm really struggling with this part of the technology. Well, get them some help with that, and teach them and get them comfortable with whatever, and help them get through those barriers that are holding them back. But always ask that question, why? It's, we like to assume we know why, and we don't always know the answer. So ask those questions.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm definitely doing that member interest survey. So
it's a nice little resource. Yeah. So Teresa, you said advanced clubs have unique challenges. Share.
I was in your training last year and I really enjoyed it. And I was very pleased that you're doing the training again this year.
Thank you.
And we talked about the advanced clubs having some unique challenges last year, and I got some feedback. I am in the Northeast Advanced Toastmasters here in Bluntville, Tennessee, which is in the northeastern part of the state. And we have some issues about trying to get additional people to join because we have certain requirements to be met for them to join the advanced club. Right. In the past, before Pathways, they had to have completed a CC. And now we've determined that they need to complete a level 2 before they can join our club. There are just the regular clubs, I shouldn't say regular clubs, but the non-advanced clubs where they can just bring in members from anywhere. But we are constrained to bringing members who have met these certain requirements. And it's a little difficult to convince people to come join our club in addition to their home club. So if you have any suggestions of how to do some advertising, convincing, and we have given presentations at these other clubs, we just haven't gotten any.
Sure. What's the focus of your advanced club?
The focus of our advanced club, we have a longer meeting such that we could give longer presentations.
So is it like focused on leadership or advanced communications or?
Probably on advanced communications more so now.
Well, certainly make sure you're advertising it that way. Think about the requirement. Maybe, you could put out a thing, for the next 6 months. If you join, you don't have to have had completed that level 2. Or you can say, come in as a guest anyway. Let them come even though they haven't completed a level 2. And then once they complete the level 2, then they can become an official member. So there's lots of different ways you can go there. Anybody else have thoughts?
It's Mark Oshman, Advanced Chatters. Our club was in that position several years ago. We simply changed the club bylaws.
So do you have no requirements now?
Exactly so.
Okay. So
our 2 newest members have just joined. No Toastmasters background.
Okay. So yeah, and that's an option. You can change your bylaws to remove the level 2 requirement. So.
We've discussed that, right? And maybe we could discuss having a level 1, all right? But they just don't want to bring in a new member to the club.
Yeah.
But thank you very much for addressing my question. I really appreciate it.
You bet. And again, reach out, go visit some other advanced clubs and see how they're doing things. You know, there's lots of opportunities, or at least talk to some people from those clubs. Anybody else?
Hey, Steve, during our last session, you put out a document that I forget the name of it,
Mhm.
but everything you need to know in a sense about Toastmasters. It's a great document. Do you want to share that with this group? Do you
Don't
recall what
remember
I'm
which,
talking about?
I don't remember which document that was.
It was how to sell Toastmasters.
How to sell Toastmasters.
I don't know if that's the official
Yeah,
title.
I think the document you're referring to is called.
I mean, I have it, but I thought maybe you want to share it with the group because I
Yeah,
thought it was great.
was it Tell the Whole World? Let the
Yeah,
world
that's
know,
it.
let
Tell
the
the whole world
know.
what they need to know about Toastmasters.
Yeah, let me see if I still have that, because it's more of a PR thing, but I think
It's good reading for everyone. I mean, I
yeah,
think there are good hints and tips in there. It starts you to think.
yeah. Yes. I know I have it on here, just trying to figure out where. Hmm. Let me try over here.
Marianne, while we got the pause, I apologize, haven't caught up with you guys, but I expect to be back soon, probably the next week or so. Love your meetings.
Oh, awesome. Yeah, well,
And thank you
we
for
look
attending
forward-
our open house. Yeah.
Oh, yes,
good.
yes, I enjoyed your open house, and would love to have you come visit us again too.
Yeah. I made contact with the lady from Canada about having a dual meeting. We're
Oh,
trying to work
awesome,
on that.
Maria.
Yeah.
Yes, yeah.
She's still
Good.
attending?
I have not, she has not in the last few weeks, but
Maybe election time, you know.
yes,
I
yes,
have
yeah.
her email.
Okay, good.
Okay, so this is called Let the World Know, Publicity and Promotion Handbook. Like I said, it's geared primarily towards the VP person, but there is some good information here. So because it has sections on public relations function and create effective public relations program, which VPM membership should certainly be involved with. PR tactics, restart noise, approaching the media, writing pitches, selling story ideas, broadcast media, interviews, special events, leading PR team. But what's great about this is in the back. Let me just scroll down here. There are sample press releases somewhere down here. Maybe I passed them. This might be an older version.
It looks that way. But in the public relations sections, there are flyers out there you do not have to recreate other than insert your name. They're great flyers.
Yeah, they really are. There's lots of great things, but that's a great manual. So if you go out to TI and do a search on Let the World Know, especially the press release, you want to, for promoting your club and using a VPM membership, if somebody accomplishes a DTM or wins a speech contest, if you can get those things put out in the press, that gets the name of your club and some of the things you're doing, and it's a great way to gain membership in the club. So thanks for bringing that up. We appreciate that. So, all right. Well, I think we are out of time. Remember, you were elected in this position to serve the members of your club. So that's why you're there. Always remember that. But get to know them, find out what their needs are, find out what their goals are, and help them reach those goals. And if you do that, they will stick around. And I think if you do that, they will embrace what you're doing as a club. They'll learn to embrace pathways and those things and move forward. But we need to show some of them the way. And we have a great opportunity to do that as VPM and to mentor and to do those things. Go forth and do great things. And most importantly,
Thank you,
have fun.
Stephen.
You bet. Take care, everyone.